What he wants to do is absent himself until the count here. That won't be until well after 6 o'clock this morning, we imagine, although we may get some signs of movement before that. A quick look at who else is joining us in the hall there. We'll give you a quick shot of one party that have already made their presence known here. They are the Al-Zababist Nation of Oog. They're also contesting this seat of South Thanet. Good luck to them. At the moment, you can see they haven't got much to say, but they are now already with us. Let's go to perhaps the safest UKIP seat there is around, and that's the seat of Clacton. Douglas Carswell, the MP, was the MP there, hoping to retain his seat in this count. Douglas, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Extraordinary exit polls coming out tonight from the Broadcasters Collective. 2 seats predicted for UKIP. Yours must surely be one of those. You have the safest majority of all of them. Who do you think the other one will be?
Well, let's wait and see. I mean, there's plenty of slip between cup and lip, and the counting's only just started, so I'm not taking anything for granted. But what I think is truly extraordinary is when you reflect on the fact that 5 years ago, UKIP polled just over 3%. We're now on the verge of getting between 3 and 4 million votes. That's an extraordinary leap forward for UKIP.
Yeah, but in the first past the post system, that's not much use to you in terms of getting seats in the House of Commons, is it?
Well, if it's the case that UKIP gets, say, 4 million votes and only a clutch of seats, I think that's more of a reflection on how dysfunctional our political system is than a reflection on UKIP's campaign tactics. I mean, isn't it extraordinary how, if you look at both the UKIP vote and the Green vote combined, we're talking about sort of 5.5 million people who are, it looks as if they're going to be woefully underrepresented by a system of politics that gives Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon's party almost 10 times the representation. So I mean, I think UKIP has done well in terms of increasing its share of the votes, but I think this could raise some profound questions about the nature of our political system.
But certainly the idea of voting reform is pretty near the top of many people's agendas post the election results tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about that a bit then. In terms of the momentum of UKIP as a political force, you're coming second now in 2 of those Sunderland constituencies. That hasn't happened before, so there will be, it seems, something of a showing around the country that you could interpret as to increase popularity. Where do you take that momentum then?
Well, I think it's interesting that UKIP seems to be, in its early days, seems to be doing well in places where the Conservative Party doesn't stand a chance of ever forming a credible alternative to Labour. Now, if it is the case that UKIP is doing well in the north of England, I think between now and 2020 we can really structure the party around trying to replace the Labour Party as a credible alternative in seats where, frankly, the Conservative Party has not been up to the job for a generation or more. And I think that's a huge opportunity. If it's the case that we get 4 million votes in this election, I think we're in a very good position between now and 2020 to become a serious player in seats where, frankly, 5 years ago we barely had a presence.
Well, what about leadership, though? South Thanet's going to have its count much later on this morning, but there is a very strong chance that Nigel Farage will not get his seat in the Commons. What are you going to do about that? He's the only figure that the public really associate with UKIP and really associate with the character of the party. Well,
I spent a lot of time helping in target seats. I spent time in Thanet South. I'm pretty confident that he's going to do it. He's been an extraordinary inspirational figure. For 20 years he's at times stood alone against the political establishment, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to become a Member of Parliament in the early hours of Friday morning. But let's wait and see.
Briefly, Douglas Carswell, you're a very popular MP in your constituency. Everyone knows that. You could have won it under any colour. Are you missing the Conservative Party at all?
We'll find out. Am I missing the Conservative Party?
Are you missing your previous party? Yeah.
I've got lots of friends in the Conservative Party. There are lots of good people who still vote Conservative, but I don't miss the Conservative Party at all.
Douglas Carswell, thanks very much indeed for joining us tonight on the line there from Clacton. Let's go live to